the questions that weighs so heavily on people's minds is, what do I do with my stuff? What happens? What do I do with the furniture in my house, with with the jewelry, with the clothes, with the vehicles? We think sometimes that we have to list all those things out in an estate plan, and you don't. You don't have to list every single thing out in your will that you have and that you want to have divided. So typically, we just say it gets divided between your children or your beneficiaries, whoever it is. If you have specific things you want to go to a specific person, you can oftentimes just do a personal property memorandum to attach to your will and make sure that those things go to that person. You can also just start giving away. So instead of giving your niece that ring or your nephew that watch that's been in the family for a couple of generations, go ahead and give it to them now. If they're old enough, if they're mature enough and responsible enough, go ahead and give it to them now. And that will alleviate a lot of different problems down the road as far as you want to make sure they receive it. You also want to make sure there's no problems and no conflict within the family if give that person that thing. So if you give them that watch while you're still alive, it's kind of hard for people to complain about that after you die. But if you just leave it to them or say, I want this person to have it after you pass away, that could cause some conflict. So you want to try to avoid that. But I don't want you to stress over what happens to your personal property. Really, on the scale of things to worry about within the estate plan, is really very low, really very low. So don't worry about that. Also, I have seen on the other side, as a probate lawyer and probating wills and estates, where the will has a list of 15 different things to go to different people, it is a hassle. When you're talking about personal property, again, personal property is your clothes, your vehicle, your furniture, other things kind of within your house. Those things are so easy to just pass through different ways than listing every single thing in your will. What happens when you list those things in your will is that we must probate your estate and probate that will in order to distribute those things per your wishes. And so it becomes expensive to do that and becomes a hassle for your personal representative. And then when you get ready to close the estate, all those people have to sign receipts and waivers and things that shows, hey, I did get what I was supposed to get, and I'm okay with the estate closing. So it really does become a hassle on the back end if you try to list out in your will all these different little things that you want to go to somebody. So find other ways of doing it. I once had a client who talked about her grandmother, and when people walked in the room and walked into her house and said, oh, I love that table, the grandmother handed them a sticky note, put their name on it, and said, hey, go put this on the underneath the table, and it's yours when I die. And so she was already naming things and labeling things as people's while she was alive. You can also just start giving things away instead of waiting for people to get things after you die. I mean, obviously, you're going to have to keep some things in your house while you're still living because you need them. But you can also just start giving things away and talking to your family members about the things they may want to have and may want to keep. That watch that is so special to you, your son may not want, your nephew may not want, they may not care one bit about that watch. That piece of furniture that's been in the family for generations, nobody may want. And so don't stress yourself over these personal property items. Again, those should be kind of the least of your worries when it comes to estate planning. Um, so I hope this helps. I hope, because I get this question so many times, it's always weighing on people's minds of, what do I do with my stuff? So don't let that stress you out. Don't worry about that. This is Tanya Hendricks, Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer, and coming to you talking about the issue of personal property.